If I'm a parent and I want my child to be able to go to university without spending their whole life in debt, if I feel uncomfortable with the NHS falling into largely private hands, who can I vote for? Where's my candidate?
John.
Where are the politicians who are questioning the idea of choice?
John.
You're in pain. You need an operation. You don't want choice, you want delivery. Where are the politicians demanding all this again and again, less and less, because we're not naive anymore? Because this is the only way that works.
John, there's something else we should be talking about.
Where are the ideas, Ruth? Where are the dreams? We should be electing leaders, not managers. I told you we're not here to talk about Simon.
I've never said anything about Simon.
You asked me where I've been. This is where I've been. This is what I want. Where are the politicians demanding all that? You, Ruth! That's who you were! When we sat up till 2 on New Year's Eve and we had drunk too much whiskey and ginger, and you used to smoke a bit back then too, and you told me, you said, you weren't one of the boys, you were gonna shake things up. Start today, take the difficult route, and don't go to war.
Sometimes things don't go as you planned.
Of course.
Things happen that you don't intend.
No.
Sometimes life just gets in the way. Do you understand?
I'm not here to talk about Simon!
I never said anything about Simon!
Ruth, it's not actually too late to do something people will remember. Something that will change a generation.
It is, John.
No.
It is too late. You think you're suggesting something new, something radical. Almost all of what you're saying is impossible. Higher taxes may stifle economic growth. That is just a fact. And the 20th century has proven conclusively, and yes, it is proof, that the introduction of a tax-free market capitalism into a country's system not only raises the people's quality of life, but also intrinsically leads to a greater social and political freedom.
For the rich.
At first, eventually for all.
That's a big eventually. They're still waiting in Russia, South Africa. We could argue we're still waiting here. Chances of rising up the ladder in this country have sharply declined in the last 30 years. And you know why?
Yes. Yeah.
Smaller government, free market. That's welfare and
I
opportunity.
could debate that. There's increasing population and decreasing resources. You were here to talk about Iran.
I'm here to talk to Ruth.
Ruth is listening.
Yes.
She's fascinated by us.
I like the perspective.
Exactly. Okay, now, John, Iran's nuclear intention is something else completely. Okay, you criticise us for saying you're naive. Well, that's difficult. Or you out there, you sound it. You sound like children. Your criticism is that this feels wrong. But to that I say, of course it does. It's war. People are going to die. War always feels wrong, and it should feel wrong. But you know what, kid? The world is nasty. Okay, the civilization that you live in, every single tiny aspect of Western civilization is built upon the progress and protection that came at the cost of blood that your ancestors fought for. And even though it felt just as wrong then, and no one wants this to happen, but we have to be strong enough and proud enough to say that we think our values are better than theirs. Our values of freedom, democracy, and equality.
Well, I question whether equality is currently one of our values.
And we have to be intelligent enough to know that these things are not given. We do not inevitably get better. There's no God, no divine justice. Good does not always win out. Neither the ancient monarchs, Stalin or Hitler. The only way that we get better. As if we work, sometimes we will fight.
Stephen.
Well, let's stand up and claim it loud. Our ways are better. It's better than theirs.
Whose?
The Iranians.
The Iranians.
The Iranian regime. Our systems of power and law that we have enshrined for ourselves are morally superior. We don't make coal and hide themselves. We don't beat our children. We don't stone adulterers. Homosexuality is legal. We give everyone the vote. We are happy to coexist, agree to differ, but not where the bedrock of our foundation and our moral principles are at stake. We cannot allow men we wouldn't trust with our sister to have access to a nuclear weapon.
That sounds a bit racist.
Absolutely not.
Well, who are these men?
What?
Who do you imagine these men are? Stupid, uneducated Middle Eastern.
No, it's quite the opposite. Overprivileged, well-educated, middle-class men who thrive on corruption and torture, who cultivate a culture of hypocrisy and fear for their own selfish desire. And there have always been these men, these overgrown children of the world, and they should be disciplined. But no, you let them have the bomb.
No.
Oh, what's your alternative?
It's a different world now, Stephen.
Really?
The world you're describing is the world of the ballot box. Him or her, left or right, vowels and binary choices. But to me, to us, that way of thinking is ancient. My generation isn't apathetic anymore. We're voting every second of the day.
And how does that stop Iran getting the bomb? You're saying we just sit back and hope?
We sit forward. We don't raise a fist. Any government can ultimately not govern without consent. Modern technology, people have more organisation and more information than ever before. It's no longer possible for governments to lie. Therefore, armed with the truth and the capacity to be heard, it won't be long before the people speak out. In Tunisia and Egypt, the people spoke out, and the voice of the people is the voice of God!
John? I don't trust either. By all accounts, the Muslim brotherhood is pretty damn tech-savvy. Well, what I saw out my window earlier today might seem easier to organise than ever. Talk about bloody flash mob.
What are you saying?
What are you saying?
We have to believe in something!
Why?
Because the only message at the moment is money, success and power! And it's like a Big Mac you told to eat it, but afterwards you still feel empty. You wonder why those people are violent and lost and rioting? They haven't been given a reason to live. Now, I'm not saying God, but we have to believe in something, a motivation, a drive. Those people in the square think 1,000 different things. But today there is something that they don't share, that this is wrong and we can do better. See now I get letters, emails every day from people all across the country. Soldiers, businessmen, old women, all asking for something better, a new idea, a change of direction. They don't want this war. The people of Iran don't want this war.
Let me explain something to you, John. I don't think you've ever comprehended. If you allow this technology to get out now, there will be no ideas, old or new. Everything, John, everything will be destroyed. Yeah, Armageddon. The end of reality. No light, just darkness. I'm talking your language now. Mystery, apocalypse, these all seem concepts remarkably familiar to you. I'm told you think dreams have meaning. They tell me coincidence just follows you around.
Maybe.
And you said I had cancer. And they just say that.
I saw it.
Magic? No.
There are things we don't know. Ruth believes in God, don't you?
Stephen, maybe John has a point. Maybe there are other things we could do. You were always a fan of rushing in and kicking up a storm.
We refuse to take control of this now. Our grandchildren will look back on it and see it as the greatest failure of our generation. Far larger than climate change, potentially bigger than the 2 world wars. Terrorist nuclear explosions at any place, any moment. You imagine that, the constant fear of death, any time, any place, that's utterly unavoidable.
Stephen.
There will be no freedom in that world. True freedom is only assured from politics and government. We have a parliamentary democracy for a reason. Nothing good ever came from literally handing over power to the people.
Stephen.
Civil war, atrocity, modern war.
Stephen.
Oh, give power.
Stephen. Stephen, look at me.
Give power to Parliament.
Go to the hospital.
To the experts. The people
Hello?
stupid.
I want a car and a doctor on that door
They
now.
cannot be trusted.
Thank you.
And they can shout as loud as they want.
Martine! Can you show Stephen out, please?
You keep your head. Don't be drawn. This is all an act.